The strongest people aren't the ones who win. They're the ones who lose in silence and rise anyway. Strength isn't what you show, it's what you survive. And maybe that's you, carrying something heavy, telling no one, stay with me. Because in the next minute, you'll understand why strong people hide their losses, and why your quiet battles might be building a strength you don't yet see. Have you ever carried something heavy and told no one? That quiet pressure in your chest, those long nights, those mornings you stood up anyway. We don't hide pain because we're weak. We hide it because somewhere along the way, we learned the world doesn't always know what to do with a hurting heart. And maybe that's you, smiling on the outside, storming on the inside. Here's the small truth. You stayed silent not because you wanted to, but because you weren't sure anyone would understand. So stay with me. Because if that feels familiar, the next part will show you why your silence was never weakness. There's a moment strong people never talk about, the quiet breaking. No applause, no witness, just a heart cracking softly behind steady eyes. Maybe you know that moment, when you wanted to speak, but the words felt too heavy. When you held yourself together because there was no safe place to fall apart. That's the shadow point, where strength isn't loud, but fragile and real. You didn't stay silent because you felt nothing. You stayed silent because you learned the world doesn't always know what to do with a hurting soul. But here's the truth people miss. The battle you think defeated you might be the one that rebuilt you. Because after that quiet collapse, you still rose. Not perfectly, not proudly, but honestly. And sometimes, that's where real strength begins. Think about the ocean for a moment. Calm on the surface, silent. But beneath it, storms you'll never see. People are the same. You are the same. You carry waves inside you no one else ever feels. You hide storms behind steady eyes because explaining them would take more strength than surviving them. And maybe you think that makes you weak. It doesn't. Here's the truth. Hiding a storm doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're surviving in the only way you know how. Think of those nights you whispered, "I'm fine," even when you weren't. Those mornings you rose with a heart still shaking. Those weren't failures. They were lessons, quiet ones. You didn't heal neatly. You didn't break beautifully, but you healed anyway. Quiet battles shape you most. Like trees twisted by seasons, your scars don't make you less. They prove you didn't stay down. You didn't just live through the silence. You grew inside it. Growth doesn't always look like rising. Sometimes, it just looks like continuing. You woke up on days you didn't want to. You moved your feet even when everything felt heavy. That alone is strength. You don't need to rise beautifully. You just need to rise honestly. So take one small step, just one, toward yourself. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to pretend you're fearless. You don't have to hide the parts that are still learning how to stand. Keep walking. Even slowly is still forward. Even shaky is still progress. Think of every moment you kept going when quitting felt easier. Those were wins, quiet ones, but yours. Here's the gentle truth. You don't grow because life gets lighter. You grow because you keep moving even when it isn't. And with every small step, you become someone your past self would be proud of. This isn't perfection. This is becoming. Look at yourself. Not the version you show the world, but the one who has been rising quietly again and again. You never showed your defeats. You didn't need to. Because strength was never in the display. It was in the endurance. And now you can see it clearly. You never see a strong person's losses, only the courage that survived them. Picture a battlefield at dawn. The quiet light, the still ground, the place where someone once fell and stood back up anyway. That's you. Your silence wasn't weakness. It was resilience growing in the dark. And maybe now, you finally understand why your quiet battles were shaping you all along. Strength has never been loud. It's always been quiet. If these words found you, maybe it's because you've been carrying more than you let the world see. And if you're still rising, even quietly, that's strength. Share this with someone who fights their storms in silence too. Rise quietly